depth. That's why it shows 0. I hope I explained that good. Okay, so let's go. We've got all this set up. Let's go talk about some parameters. Now, there's various options that you can tell the nesting algorithm to adhere to. So basically, we're telling it, the distance between parts can be a ½ inch. They're going to be using a 3/8 inch router to cut these out, or it could be a ½ inch router. But this needs to be no less than the diameter of the tool that you're going to be cutting this with. Obviously, you don't want to cut into other parts that are, within a ½ inch. When you're going to use a 3/4 inch cutter, that'll gouge some of the parts. So we're going to say it can be a ½ inch between any two parts. Okay, and then also the distance from any part to the outer perimeter of the sheet. So we set that to ½ inch as well. So we'll always get we will never have a part that's actually lines on the edge of the sheet. So it will always be a clean cut. Okay. So down here you have an accuracy slider. You notice that we have it set to the lowest accuracy. Now I want to make sure you understand here, accuracy does not mean that it's changing your part geometry. Your part geometry will not be altered or affected, so it's going by your exact geometry you have. The accuracy just means what is the tolerance that it can move these parts around on this sheet. Okay, so you're not really going to see a lot of difference between low and accuracy, but it does depend on the shape of your components. And for this particular application here, we can leave it set to the low accuracy because it's not going to have any much effect. But what it does do is it calculates a lot faster if you have this set to low accuracy versus high. Okay, so we'll take more time. So tagging, let's talk about tagging. Now, if you'll notice in these parts, they have an identifier label or cut right onto the each of the parts. Okay, so they know ahead of time what the label is going to be for each component. And they have drawn the label on the component. So there's two different ways you could do this. Okay, let's say that you don't care what the label is. Okay, you just want to make sure that on the nested parts, each of the part of a certain part is all labeled the same. Okay, so that when you cut it out, you'll see that it has a label on it, and all the ones that have that same label are the same part. So that can become important if your profiles are close to being the same, but they're not the same. So when you have them all cut out, you don't want to mistake one for the other. So you can either put the labeling as profile geometry on the part, or you can go ahead and allow the nesting algorithm to add a label, a random label. It'll come up with a label and put the same labels on all the parts. Now, one thing I do want to know here versus 3D parts versus 2D parts for tagging or labeling. On a 3D part, the label actually has to be a feature of the part. Okay, consider this. Okay, so if this was a 3D part, let's say the thickness was 1 inch, okay, and you didn't want the label to go all the way through, obviously, but you wanted to have it as part of the model. So you would have to make this a pocket in the model so that it actually has geometry and it has depth for your nesting of the 3D parts. So, and also you cannot nest 2D parts and 3D parts together. Okay, so that's why it has to be a feature. You just can't put a 2D label laying on top of a 3D part and want to nest those together. So 3D parts need to be all 3D parts. 2D parts need to be all 2D parts. Okay, so I just want to talk a little bit about the labeling. Again, if you know what the label is, put your label on the part and it'll be nested with the part. If you don't care what the label is, but you want them all to be the same on each part, that's the same part. Say you have more than one part in the nest, say you have 10 parts, all 10 parts will have the same tag, and you can set that up right here in this tagging options. Okay, nested sheet layout. So you have three options here. You can, when it actually calculates the nest, you can tell it to line each sheet up along the X. If you noticed on the production part, each sheet was lined up along the X-axis, okay? Or you can line them up all along the Y-axis, or you can leave them stacked on top of each other. So, and then when you commit it, although they're stacked on top of each other, they're going to be on separate layers. So each layer, you can look at it, and each one will have the same sheet perimeter. Each one will have the same um, starting point. There's Z0, and they'll just be on top of each other. We'll go ahead and leave it like that. Now, remnants. We are going to talk about remnants. Basically, when it calculates a sheet, there's going to be areas that it could nest into. See, our parts are rather large parts. So there's areas, there are going to be areas on the sheet that are not going to be used during the nest. And you can calculate what those are, and it isolates those, okay? And then when you commit the nest, it'll take those remnants and put them back in the parts list so you can use them again and, and do other cutouts inside of the remnant sheet areas, okay? So we have different options for calculating the remnant area. So clean cut means that any area that's, all the way down the length of the sheet that's not being used, okay, it'll calculate that as a remnant. And here you can tell it, well, do I want to calculate the remnant in horizontally, or do I want to calculate the remnant vertically? These parts are relatively long. They lay horizontal, so you're better chance probably of having some remnant material in the X direction. So we're going to say clean cut. We're going to say horizontal cuts, okay? And for remnant control, you can tell it, well, I don't want any remnants that's less than 3 inches. Okay, so any area that's less than 3 inches that runs the length of the part, don't calculate that as a remnant. Okay, so any area that's above 3 inches will be calculated as a remnant area. Okay, and you can constrain it. We're doing it by the width, and you can also constrain it by the area if you want to calculate, the square inch area of the remnant. You can do that, or you can just say no remnants. So we're going to leave it set at width. At this point, as we mentioned up here, we left the count at 1. So down on our parameters, you have the option to, after everything that you have it set, you want to run a calculate the nest based on these parameters, you can go ahead and pick the estimate number of sheets. Now this will probably take a moment. So let's go over here, and I'm going to look at, I have another one already set up for a rectangular nesting. So in this one, it's the same components. We're just using the rectangular nesting. We have a sheet count already calculated of 9 sheets. Now, the rectangular nesting will take more area, more sheets, because all it does is it calculates a rectangle around the part, and that's the rectangle is what it's nesting. Okay, so it's going to take 9 sheets. There's all of our parts, and there's all of the same parameters. We'll do the estimate number of sheets, and you see that was instant, because there's not a lot of intense calculation going on just to nest that rectangular area. Okay, let's click OK to that. Let's see if our other one was done here. Okay, looks like it was done. Maybe I lost my pop-up. No. Okay.
Looks like you set that to high accuracy there, huh?
No, it's at low accuracy. So it's telling me it's going to take 7 sheets. Okay, let's update the sheet count automatically. And then we're going to execute the nest. And let's pop back over here and look at this one again for the rectangular nesting. It looks like it's calculating, so I won't be able to do anything there. Let's just wait for it to finish. Okay. it's just going to scroll down through the sheets, and you'll see that, you know, it placed all the parts in the sheet. I don't particularly like how they just, looks like they're just thrown in there. Okay. So let's see if we can give a little bit uniformity to each of our parts. Let's go back over to the parts tab, and we'll go back over here and look at our parts.